All right, hey guys. Yeah, you know what? Well, it's very fitting for the channel for me to say that I was going to be early and then be late. Hope everyone can hear me. Let's do a quick sort of roll call. Exactly, Patrick. Uh, and yeah, I'm 1 minute early considering everything. So actually, because I didn't set this up properly, yeah, get rid of this because professionalism and all that stuff is what we are known for on Cast Strength. Yeah, does anyone want in on the stream? Hang out on the channel for a little bit with me while we drink. I fixed myself up a quick old fashioned with some billet rye, some pure maple syrup, and Angostura bitters. I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly, but whatever. And whiskey stones. As I was moving everything, I finally found some miscellaneous bits and pieces that I'd accumulated and didn't know I had. So these little whiskey stones for my cocktails because I hate the dilution. I'm sure some people might agree with me there. I like the cold for my cocktails. I just don't like the dilution that happens because if you sit with your cocktail long enough, the ice eventually does melt and dilute the flavor and the intensity. So, solution. Who's in the chat? Steve A, obviously, because he's a champion. Caleb, nice to see you, buddy. Dan, it's a old fashioned. It's a rye old fashioned. Jeffrey Patron, Patrick Cohn, Mike Lissack, Scotty Swing, my man. What's going on? Greg Stagg was in earlier. I don't know if he's still here. Welcome in, guys. I don't know if anyone caught my earlier video, but this is just going to be like just kind of laid back, hang out. Like I said, if anybody wants in, I'll drop the StreamYard. Actually, I'll just drop the StreamYard link in there right now. Excuse my back because, all of that stuff. So how do I figure this out? Invite. I know how to work this thing. Jeremy and Brad seem to think that I don't, but I'll figure it out. Hey, Jason. Hey, Sarah. Sorry I missed you last night on Whiskey and Lipstick. I went to bed very early last night. I was exhausted. I have been exhausted from the move and just needed a night to just sleep. Sleep. Oh God, Scotty. Yes, you do. Oh my God. I forgot about that picture. Oh, that's funny. So if anyone wants in this, the links there, we can sit down, have a drink together. Cheers. Just for anyone that is drinking at this hour. It's 3 p.m. Eastern for me. So I think Patrick, I need to try maple syrup sometime instead of simple syrup. Yes, you do, and you can't use like the Aunt Jemima stuff. You need to use the real maple syrup, the stuff that like they literally pull right out of the tree, put it in a jar, and then they turn around and give it to you and say, "There you go, there's your maple syrup." You need to use that stuff because the natural sugars is way better than anything like any of the the random mass-produced store-bought shit will give you. Does waffle count as whiskey? Is it whiskey waffles? Oh, I think you can make. Someone has to do that. Someone's got to make pancakes or waffles with a bit of like a bourbon in there or something. Or yeah, a bourbon would work best, I think, with that. Someone needs to do that and add some whiskey bacon bits into the mix. Oh, someone do that, please, and post just all the pictures about it and let us know how it gets, how it tastes. I can speak English. Jason Busey joined in. Jason Unsworth, what's going on? AJ, nice to see you, bud. Yeah. So, what's going on, guys? Sound off on what you're doing today, what you may be in the middle of, and just need a distraction. Yeah, we'll just kind of sit around and have a couple of drinks together. Candied bacon to old fashioned. Okay. So, Caleb, how do you make your candied bacon? Because normally, how I make my candied bacon is that I'll just put a little bit of brown sugar and like a little thin layer line of maple syrup, because it'll kind of meld with the sugar, with the brown sugar, and just kind of like spread over the bacon really nicely. That's how I usually make my candied bacon. But the candied bacon in the old fashioned is definitely a thing that I will be doing. I haven't gone grocery shopping yet for the new place. I've just been literally eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for the last 4 days, because I've just not had very much time to go out shopping. But when I do, I will be picking up a lot of bacon and doing that. And yes, happy 420. Today is April 20th. It is a wonderful day for those that partake in a certain herb. And yeah, cheers to the 420. Mike from Toronto is in the chat. What's up, Mike? He loves when I say that. Maple syrup, brown sugar, and cayenne. See, cayenne. I've used cayenne and like Cajun spicing. I've used as a separate sort of bacon. I get beef bacon, and essentially, and I put like the cayenne and spices and stuff like that on it. It's like little beef, bite-sized beef steaks almost. But that together, the sweet and the spicy, would be absolutely great. That's a really, really good, really good little thing there. Yeah, I'm gonna actually write that down. That's dynamite. I am going to use my Ardbeg pen. Hail the cult. They are busy, unless they might surprise us later with an appearance. Oh God. Ugh. Huh. Let's see what we've got here. I've used Cuban rum in place of vanilla and banana bread and waffles. Ooh. That's great. All these like really cool, interesting things that everyone does. And I feel like there's a lot of us here that are part of the whiskey tribe and post recipes and stuff like that, and of stuff that they do, whiskey centric stuff, and inevitably it gets lost in the unbelievable amount of posts that are posted by minute there. And I'm sure there are just people here that like ate. Mike, you may have posted that. Kayla may have posted. Am I live? It's frozen on my screen here. Okay, there we go. Kayla may have posted that as well, and it just gets lost. I wish there was a website or like a community website strictly dedicated to the procurement of all of these whiskey, homemade whiskey recipes. Greg is back. Welcome in, Greg. Yeah, so maybe I'll work on that. Maybe that'll be like a quarantine project for me, since I'm out of work right now. And really all I have to do during the day is eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and drink old fashions with you guys. But I'm definitely writing down adding the cayenne to the candied bacon. Because knowing me, syrup, brown sugar, that's the common, and cayenne. Knowing me, I will forget that. So yeah, I'll post the link again in case it got lost on you guys. If, like I said, if anyone wants to join in, you're more than welcome. I don't know how much longer I can go with just talking and coming up with stuff off the cuff, but how much bitters do you add to your old fashioned? Jason, I don't know, as many as I want. It's because especially with the one like the Angostura where you have to like kind of like push it, like kind of like force it out. It's really hard to get like a really good gauge on how much you're actually putting in. So I don't know. Like I usually try to aim for under 5 like drops, whatever. And when I say drops, it could be like an actual drop or like a a spray of it. Just depends on how it comes out of the bottle. I have a set of I have 2 things of the what are they called? The teardrop syringe things. Some bitters like that I might actually start using. I haven't gotten into them yet, but that'll obviously be a lot easier because you can really gauge at how much exactly you're putting in. But what is a dash really? Like, is a dash could be, like, I don't know, like a dash, a pinch, a sprig, like, I don't know, just weird. Like, especially when I'm watching like YouTube cooking videos and stuff, and they say, oh, a pinch of salt, and they throw in like a handful of salt. I mean, it's like a handful, but it is kind of like a pinch because you're pinching your fingers and you're pinching and you're locking everything in, and it's just so I don't know. I say at a certain point, exactly how much bitters you like in a thing, and you can kind of gauge it just by feel. So, oh, Jeffrey, let me turn around so I can make sure that I'm adding you in. I still haven't set up my this whole situation properly yet, because I have my computer here with all of the instrumentation bullshit, and then I have my iPad here with chat, so I can keep up with everybody. Then I have that there. I may eventually swap places for some specific streaming. For streams, I might start using the camera over here for that, and then you guys can take a look to see all of my childish stuff behind the camera, which I'm not ashamed of. I'm very proud of my little collection there. But I figured for the YouTube channel, it's whiskey. You got whiskey everywhere, so. And I'm not even done. I want to put like a bunch of shelves here and display like a nice little graveyard of nonsense of all the bottles and everything. A dash is 1/8 of a teaspoon. Well, you know what, Caleb? I don't know what up. But yeah. So I have to keep on looking back to make sure that I'm not missing Jeffrey if he's going to come in. A little bit of anime, Patrick. A little bit of anime. A little bit of Iron Man stuff. A little bit of Harry Potter stuff. And a couple of fancy books. What I got there? I got Pliny, Machiavelli, the Odyssey. I have a couple of stuff that you should have on a bookshelf. And yeah. Jason, you noticed the bagpipe picture? Yes. So quick little story on that one. That's me, and that's my friend Toby from Australia that I met in Edinburgh when I was there a couple of years ago. And it was we met there, him and his friend Reese, both stand-up guys. we still keep in touch occasionally. But yeah, so it was our last day, and we were. I was on my way up to Sky, Dallas Sky, and he was going up to Inverness. So I offered to drive him up. So before we left the old town in Edinburgh, we said we should go and get like a picture taken and dress in like kilt and bagpipes and stuff like that. So we went, we got suited up, and we took a silly picture. And yeah, so that's silly thing. Let me pull it out actually and give you guys a little bit of a better. Let's see. There we go. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that guy. So, get that back over there. And yeah, so you got 17 people are on the stream right now. Is anyone else having a little drink? And actually, sound off. Is 3:00 or whatever time this is for you guys? Is this too early for everybody? If it is, I'll push it to like 4 or 5 o'clock or whatever ends up being better. If no one else is no, if like it's just too early. I had a comment on my earlier video say that it's a touch early, and I want to have enough people on here so that we can all hang out and whatnot. Oh, Jeffrey Patron, where are you, buddy? There you are.
Yeah, I've just been sitting here, just like
you saw that I was like, I don't know, maybe you misheard me. You should have mentioned it in the chat. Sorry, buddy.
Oh no, I was just I was promoting my own appearance.
Very good. How are you, man? It's been a while since we've talked.
It's been a hot second.
I'm
good.
Good to hear, man. What have you been keeping busy doing?
Yeah, just a few things. Prepping for things to come, but not in a morbid way, but like the tastings that I do.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't been able to do those.
Right.
So just kind of prepping the future one. So the second that this ends, I can be like, we're doing it now.
Nice. It's good. Well, yeah, that's a good.
Cocktails, just things of that nature. Cooking.
Well, yeah, a lot of people are getting into the cooking. It's like almost impossible to find yeast in Toronto right now because everyone's a baker all of a sudden.
That is a line that I haven't yet crossed. I'm not at the bread stage of this thing yet, but I do have a few whiskeys I could pour for myself, but really two that I'd like to give you the option of making the final decision on. It'll just be a wee pour, but you're a wee man.
Just a quick shout out to Mark and Lisa, still in Canada there, from the lovely distillery up in Arthur, Ontario, Silver Fox Distillery. Nice to have you guys on.
Solid, folks.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Goodham and Warts. Which one's that one? The
11 Souls.
The 11 Souls. That's a good one.
And then Talisker. I believe it's for. Is it Neast Point or it's not Nest Point? Is it?
You know what? That's a good question. Let's go Neast because it sounds fancier, and let's pour that. Let's pour the Talisker, okay. And when you pour it, you'll have to say Neast pour in progress and lift your pinky up.
Oh, I can do that.
Oh, I know you can, buddy.
I mean, if there's one thing. Also, I'm only slightly leaning into this thing with my voice right now. If you know anything about me and my Neast pours, it tastes dignified. Also, I apologize for anyone who I might have blinded with my brief rubbing of the nipples. This is a classy stream.
Oh, the classiest and the most professional of streams here.
Classy stream you got there. Be a shame if anyone rubbed their nipples.
Just in the voice too is just just so fitting.
But yeah, I also got almost doxed myself, as the kids say. But a nice little bag of goodies recently that I'm Pravada.
Oh man, like I'm so.
I'm just so. I was already hyped, but then I wasn't expecting how much notes they would give. And yeah, sorry.
Yeah. I guess, Mark, it would be more engaging if I looked in the direction of the camera. But for the next little bit, I will be looking down a little bit just so I can keep track of the chat as well. I'm sure people don't mind, They
don't worry, I'll just look dead into the camera to compensate.
Yeah, I gotta figure it out. I gotta figure this situation out. But all in due time. Yeah, because there's still a big mess in the apartment. Still, me and my roommate are still trying to get through everything, all the boxes of absolute nonsense. It's amazing how much you accumulate over the years, and then when you have to move, it's just like packing it all up. You're like, oh, this is easy, packing, and then when you move everything and you're staring down 40 boxes of absolute junk, and you have to, like, where the hell do I start now? What am I doing? And then you wanna throw it. Your first inclination is that, yeah, I'm gonna purge everything. But then as you start, pulling stuff out of the box, you're like, oh, but I need this. Oh, but I can use this. Oh, but this and this and this, and it's like, oh my god, it's getting nowhere.
I fear for the day when I have to move the whiskey.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be fun. Or even just my vinyl records.
Well, vinyls would be a little bit easier.
Not when you have 2,000 of them.
Yeah, when you have 2,000. But at least the packing of them is relatively easy. With the whiskey, you got to be a little bit more careful. You can't just like willy-nilly throw them into a box and then move them. You got to, you want to, put a little bit of, like wrapping styrofoam around it, the thin stuff. Luckily, when we were doing a lot of ordering, I would keep all of the packing wraps that the whiskey would come in. So I had enough of those kind of hoarded to wrap around all my whiskey bottles, and I stacked them in so that they weren't clanging together. They had a little bit of a cushion.
And in case you were wondering, I'm sure you weren't, but I've not yet taken a sip because I literally just ate a bunch of really hot chicken. And spicy food will really mess up the palate.
Yeah, no, the Nashville chicken you were talking about, right?
Yes, from scratch, waffles and chicken.
Did you make whiskey waffles?
No. Although my waffle, it was filled with hot sauce and cayenne pepper, so it was burning hot.
It was good though, right?
It was delicious. It was buttermilk brine chicken, buttermilk waffles.
Nice. When I was in Vegas last, I went to this place called Yardbirds. I believe it was in the Venetian.
I love that name for a chicken. Well, I mean, it's a great name.
Yeah.
But then also the Charlie Parker had that nickname, and then the band the Yardbirds is one of my favorite.
Jimmy Page was in Yardbirds, was he not?
1 second.
I think he was.
You are absolutely correct. I'm
Yes.
just picking up a visual prop. So this is Jimmy Page over here. This is from their last tour. The
Nice.
Yardbirds morphed into the New Yardbirds and did a tour in 1968 as the New Yardbirds, a few months after the original Yardbirds broke up. And then the New Yardbirds changed their name for legal reasons. And can you guess what band that became?
It was Zeppelin, was it not?
Yep,
Yep.
that is correct.
Christina Zapoli's in the chat. Welcome in, Christina.
Just a little the more you know graphic.
Yeah. I should have like the little rainbow thing that pops up, like the more you know. But yeah, so my story. So
Sorry about that.
No, absolutely not. Don't worry. This chicken place, this fried chicken place, they had a chicken and waffles dish. It was hot Nashville style chicken with waffles and Cajun spiced watermelon, which was surprisingly amazing. I was kind of weary. I was like, it's just watermelon cubes and Cajun spicing, but it worked amazing. Like I was like, holy shit, it's amazing. The crispness and the net lightness of the watermelon and the spiciness, it would just work together. But they also had the bourbon maple syrup. So next time you make this, I would look into making a bourbon maple syrup to spread over everything.
I would consider doing that. Traditional Nashville hot chicken. Just reference my favorite, in case there's any people with diehard opinions on this, but my favorite place in Nashville to get Nashville hot chicken is a place called Prince's, and it's just astounding. Traditionally, it's the way they make the sauce is, I believe there's some honey involved, a lot of cayenne pepper, unknown ingredients, brown sugar, and then they take the burning hot oil that has just been used to fry the chicken and add it to the sauce and then coat the chicken with it.
Ooh.
It's called Nashville Napalm, I believe.
Fitting name.
What didn't quite get it as spicy, but like I think I'm not sure. I think I tried extra hot. Not the hottest that they offer, but like someone who's familiar with hot food, I was sweating profusely, hiccuping. It's like one of the hottest things I've ever eaten. Like these are some serious things. Like it becomes almost unenjoyable for some people. That's how hot it is.
I love the challenge though, because I agree that there is that tipping point where it stops becoming tasty hot and it's just I want to kill myself hot. But I love getting to that edge. I like it's just you want to push the barrier. Like how hot can what's the hottest thing I consume but still maintain a taste?
Yeah.
And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but that's just the nature of things, right?
Yes. The great thing about this is the first time I ever went there, the original restaurant, they opened up a second one, but the original place, the original Prince's, is very small. There's only I think 5 tables inside, if that, and got the food. We went to a place in Nashville. I'm not sure if you knew about this. They have a full-on recreation of the Parthenon in Nashville.
Interesting. I didn't know this. I've never been to Nashville.
It is a great city. Greenbrier and then Corsair also has a place. They're on the same street. Corsair doesn't distill any of their whiskey there, but Nelson's Greenbrier, of course, is amazing. You can pick up some nice Belle Meade cask finishes if you're lucky. But we went to the Parthenon eating fried chicken, interesting visual. And then while I was doing that, I also busted out a cigar. And that was it's a very odd moment of just like, wait, that's the Parthenon, but I'm in Nashville. I'm eating hot chicken and smoking a cigar at the same time.
Mm.
Surreal.
Yeah, when all this nonsense is said and done, I'm gonna need to definitely do Nashville and definitely do New Orleans because I've been dabbling in a little bit of Louisiana style cooking. I made a chicken thigh gumbo 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
Oh boy, like, and what's the guy's name? Isaac Trope.
Toops.
Isaac,
Toops.
yeah, Isaac Toops.
I actually just made another thing that he made on a Binging with Babish episode. Leon's, the candied pork belly, basically.
Yeah, I saw that episode. Yeah. One, I love the way I love his attitude about cooking. It's so real and just like whatever. Like it's just he's got such a fun personality about him. And secondly, he speaks for me because just douses everything in garlic and black pepper. I could not have been more happy that I came across like his recipes because this was like, oh yeah, just put as much black pepper as you can until your arm hurts. Like, yes, you're my people. Like, please, more black pepper.
What do you feel about like a dish like cacio e pepe?
Oh, buddy, that's like
I've only recently started making that.
Yeah, no, it's great. Oh, it's so good. There's a little bit of like shaved, not like sort of ground like the like cheese. It's like shaved off pieces of like Romano or Parmigiano. Yeah.
I wish I had the ability to get like a Pecorino Romano cheese, but haven't been able to.
It's tough, but I mean, if you can get it, it does make a big difference. And yeah, and a little bit of hot oil if you like a little bit of hot oil over that too, just hot olive oil. Oh yeah, I'm hungry. Jesus, and I just ate too. All this talk, but it's good.
So much talk, so little gumbo.
So little gumbo. Yeah, I definitely have to make that again. Hopefully I'm gonna go make a trip out to Walmart tomorrow to do a bit of grocery shopping. Maybe I'll get some stuff to make. I want to make a jambalaya next. And,
that definitely those saying not just the Babish episode, but just Isaac Toops' stuff recently has inspired me. At some point, I really want to do something with a roux. Make a brown roux.
Yeah, you know what? Surprisingly, I'm fairly I'm not patient with cooking, and with roux you got to be patient.
Yeah,
it was surprisingly easy. You just have to have, I believe, you have to have just the right pan or pot, and a Dutch oven really does work the best. I found because I've made roux in the past before to make like mac and cheese and stuff like that, and like I've burnt so many before, and it's always hit or miss. The last time I made it was I actually used the Dutch oven, and it seems to conduct the heat a little bit better. And I think that's a bit of a key element of making sure that the roux is like bang on the first shot. Again, I could just be I was really lucky that day and the roux was behaving, but
yeah. My issue is never. I mean, I always am making more of like a light roux, or even just like more veering off into bechamel territory for like either like a croque madame or a really refined mac and cheese.
You gotta speak with a French accent when you say it.
You know, we cover the cheese and we put in more. You know, croque madame. It's a very, French press. Use bread, baguette.
The Eiffel Tower.
You know,
Wine.
me and my, we were reading, poets.
Have a good one, Mike from Toronto. We'll see you later.
I don't know what the what the goodbye message was, but in my head, all I'm picturing is this like, yeah, that's a bit. I'm good. I've gotten my fix. I'm gonna head out to where we're not.
Like with this nonsense. What am I watching?
I was told this was gonna be professional. I didn't realize it was gonna be that professional.
Anything. Oh shit! People are waiting. People are waiting. Nate and Mark, what's going on, guys?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. Sorry, did I miss your message on the chat, or did you just come on?
I just came on.
Okay. What's going on, Mark?
Yeah, he's looking a little bored.
Yeah. With you still in the background, you're bored. Yeah, I believe that. You look like you're at work, man.
Well, I'm on the phone, which is pretty rare for me on this. And everyone's frozen. Nope.
That's awesome. Well, man, I heard Vito and Patron talking about Cajun food and roux and stuff, and that's funny. So I used to be a chef. I'm kind of retired from the industry, but I used to work at a Creole Cajun restaurant. So if you guys want tips, I can give you all the tips right now. I know this is supposed to be like a happy hour whiskey tube, but
no, man, this is like
I can drop some knowledge on you guys if you want.
Man, it's like when you go to a bar with some buddies. It's like you're not talking about like the what you're drinking. You're just kind of hanging out and shooting the shit, and
Yeah.
So let's fucking keep on talking about cooking.
So,
let's do it. Let's make everybody hungry.
We did just lose the Silver Fox.
Oh, no. I'm sure
they might come back into
he'll come
the
back.
thing. Just
the foxes are always elusive, especially the
Yes.
silver ones, right? Okay, so you guys are wanting to make roux that isn't white roux. Okay, so tip number 1: don't use butter. Use lard.
What if you can't get lard? Is oil acceptable?
Yeah, it just it won't have the same flavor, obviously. So
Right.
That's number 1. You can make it in a cake pan if you want, but the trick is to bake it. Yeah.
In the oven.
Yes, you can use a cake pan. You can use a Dutch oven if you want. But the trick is put the oven at like 400 degrees, bake it. Every half an hour, pull it out, stir it very gently. Otherwise, you get hot lava on your arm.
So hold on. So you have the lard and the flour. And you just dump it all into the let's say a Dutch oven.
Sure. Yeah, you got it nice and warm on the stove. Throw it in the oven at 400 degrees.
So you mix it together on the stove.
Correct. Yeah. So
okay. See, I was thinking that you just like put the lard, put the flour, and put it in the oven. I was like, wait.
No.
Okay.
And then you stir it every half an hour and cook it until it's almost as done as you want.
Okay.
Because of course you pull it out of the oven, it's still hot. It's gonna keep going as it sits out at room temperature a little bit. But that's how to make every roux other than white roux. So if you want dark roux, you're going to spend like 3 hours taking it out of the oven every half hour, stirring it, babysitting it. If you want red roux, it's going to take like an hour and a half. And the great thing is roux is not a perishable food item. You're using lard or oil as opposed to butter, which has the milk solids, right?
Right.
So if you cook a bunch of Cajun food, so like at the restaurant, bro, we made roux 10 pounds at a time, 10 pounds of flour and like, what was it? Like a gallon and a half, 2 gallons of lard.
Damn. I was going to say my reservation
but
is
we were
I
making,
never burn anything. I just always make too much.
Yeah. And I mean, dude, like, yeah, we made like 50 pounds of gumbo a week, 50 gallons of gumbo a week. So yeah, you need that much roux. But yeah, so that's one trick, right? Is lard or oil instead of butter, and just do it in the oven. The oven does the work for you. Yeah.
Okay. Jeez. Now when I made the gumbo a couple weeks ago,
Mhm.
I did it all stovetop in a Dutch oven. I just used what did I use? I used canola oil and the flour,
Mhm.
and it took me about 15 minutes to get it like chocolatey brown.
Mm.
Now, obviously, the just going by obviously the longer it takes and the more attention you put into it, obviously the fuller and more complex the flavor is going to be.
Yes.
Now, if you're just making one dish as opposed to having to do like multiples, like when you were like in the industry,
Yeah.
Is the difference noticeable for just like the average, like for like me? Would I know?
Mhm.
Would it be would the extra time I put in be noticeable, or would you have to be more like really tuned into food profiles and whatnot to notice the difference?
Well, I mean, that's kind of like asking, is there a difference between properly aging whiskey and the sort of sonic aging or whatever, like to do with blackened and things like that?
Right.
And of course, the rhetorical question is, yeah, of course, there's a difference. And it's not so much a question of can you tell a difference. It's more like, okay, so how much of a difference can you tell, right?
Okay. Okay.
So I mean, yeah, there's a difference, but dude, like, I mean, if you like, I mean, you said you've been making Cajun food here and there. I mean, what would stop you from making, a cup of oil, a cup and a half of flour of roux, throw it in the fridge, and then when you need brown roux, it's there.
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I did not think of didn't think of it that way. Yeah, that's
Because then you have a ready prepared pantry product. You
and I
get
mean,
what you need to go.
yeah, and I mean, like, really, like, there's nothing to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's actually, it's not okay. Okay, we'll talk.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Or have y'all ever heard of barbecue shrimp?
Yes,
I
that's
have.
something I've been
Now,
meaning to make.
now here's something that people might not know about me. I hate fish and seafood.
Oh man.
I know. I'm a fucking asshole. I don't know what
it's
I'm.
okay,
I don't know.
man.
I don't know what I'm missing.
How can you make that Italian classic scrimp scampi?
That's American Italian Patron. Come on, that's not real deal.
That's the joke. The joke
Well
is to
done,
make
Jeff.
Vito suffer.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. Yeah. Make it a bulk because it's not. It's yeah. Okay. But now I gotta add lard to the shopping list for tomorrow if I can find it.
Yeah. Or I mean, I don't know if you ever eat American bacon, but dude, just save the drippings off the bacon, and that's your lard, i.e., rendered pork fat.
Ah.
Yeah, man.
Well, okay. Well, here's
amazing.
the thing. I rarely have very much of that left over because I bake my bacon,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a little bit less. Like it's so minuscule the drippings that it's like
Sure.
yeah.
Hey man, every little bit helps.
Yeah.
I love the light bulb coming on for Patron, man. That was, that's the tail. That's the game in the restaurant industry, man. You take trash and turn it into money. And generally, the best, most creative specials you see on a menu are made that way.
Yeah. 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 I want to start doing a little more of that. Definitely. Like I'm into the large pot amalgamation of just things. Like I have a chili recipe that I've kind of perfected for my group of friends for Super Bowl because varying degrees of spice levels people enjoy, and it's like it took me forever to figure out the exact spice components to put into it and the proportions and everything like that. And Stuff like that really like gets me going because it's just like it's not super scientific. You don't have to measure everything, but you're kind of tweaking things here and there to kind of for specific tastes and whatnot. So like the jambalaya, the gumbo that I made, stuff like that is like just kind of really like intriguing to me. Just like in terms of just throw some shit in. Well, the roux is one thing, but then you just put stuff in a pot.
The Trinity.
Yeah,
The
man.
Trinity, yeah.
That's the magic of food that the Cajuns make. Of course, they have. You probably know this, Vito. There's huge Italian roots there. I mean,
Yeah.
man. You know the dregs of society throw a bunch of junk in a pot and make something at the end that tastes amazing. That's the tale of all the best food in the world. The best
Mulligan
thing, period, right?
stew.
I mean, that's how alcohol was made, right?
Right.
Well, all
Yeah.
this corn's going to go bad if I don't do something with it. So I'm going to throw some yeast on it, put it in water, and let's get drunk, I guess.
Speaking of alcohol, I have moved on to beer. I'm just drinking a Molson Canadian.
Disgusting. Get out. How
It's not-
could you?
I'm sorry that it's
This
not crafty
betrayal.
enough for. It's not crafty enough for the aficionados.
I've been betrayed. Next, you're going to tell me you also will drink gin.
I love gin. I love gin.
That's the joke.
fuck.
Because I saw, the advertisement: whiskey, gin, and beer.
Whiskey, gin, and beer. Yeah. I was like trying to like come up with like something clever for the title card, and I was like, just the stuff
I
I
liked
like:
it.
whiskey, gin, and beer. And then I
It's
called
fitting.
it. I started for the title, for the YouTube title. I was like the Cast Strength Happy Hour, and then I was like drinks. What did I originally say? Drinks. I don't remember what it was now. Fuck. But it was like 3 Ds, and I was like, fuck it. The Triple D Happy Hour.
Nice.
So I was like, a little bit of nice there. It's like that. Jason, what's the chat doing? Guys in the chat, are you drinking anything? Are you cooking anything? Are you real hungry about some of the stuff we're talking about? Is anyone behind me trying to get in on this? I have to keep on looking back to be like, did I miss somebody? I got to figure this out. I think I'm going to put like a little bit of a platform right here to put my laptop and just have, I don't know. I'll figure out eventually.
So I know you've been to Las Vegas a few times. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of this distillery. I feel like this stuff is like newer, but the H&C distillery, I know they don't they're sourcing, but were you familiar with them?
I feel
The Smoke Wagon.
Sorry.
The Smoke Wagon is their product.
Yeah. So sorry. So I'm almost positive that I've heard James Bricker mention it to me, but he's not in Vegas anymore. He's I think he's in Colorado somewhere. And I think he did a tour, or he went to a distillery in Vegas. I don't know exactly which one it was, but he never spoke very highly about many of the distilleries in Vegas. Now, James is very opinionated. I love the man, but he is very opinionated.
Great guy.
Great
If
guy.
he's watching.
He enjoys his 4 flavors in bourbon. All the power to all the power to you, bud. That's a joke. That's a little bit of a dig to you bourbon drinkers. But I love bourbon. Knob Creek single reserve is probably one of my favorite bourbons, as opposed in addition to obviously Iron Root Harbinger. But he never really spoke very highly of them. I think it was because of the sourcing. I've never had any myself, but
At some point, this is basically I've heard. My understanding is I think some of the barrel picks, like the things that Patrick Hone, that fine gentleman, was referring to, but those are probably the better things to get from them.
Right.
But just the standard, the small batch thing, bottled at 50%, tastes like a readily available version of not chapter, but the 1864 chapter 5 Eleanor. Which not necessarily a great thing.
Yeah,
but
sorry guys, that's my cat.
It's fine.
Cats are great. I love cats, except that I'm allergic to them.
I
Oh,
am.
no.
Hearing them is great because there's the pleasant sounds, the meows, without any of the
See, I was living with my uncle and my aunt for the last 4 months while I was waiting for my apartment to be ready to move in, and they had a cat, and this cat meowed constantly from the hours of 11 p.m. until 4 a.m. Henceforth, increasing my rage towards the feline variety of animi.
animals, if you would.
Yeah, I was never a huge fans of cats. I don't mind them if they're well behaved and don't meow my ear off while I'm trying to sleep.
Listen, my name's Steven Sonnenberg, and Cats is a great fucking musical, and you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, it's gangbusters, memories.
Did anyone else hook you up with Ironroot Ichor? Okay, so real quick, Jason. I believe that there's a bottle of Ichor waiting for me. I think I can't get a straight answer out of anybody, but
You lucky son of a bitch.
But I think there's one. I hope there's one. If there isn't, I will hopefully at least get a sample of one. Now, given I was able to get a good tasting of it at the YouTube barrel pick that we did. It was a bunch of YouTubers. I think it was about 8 or 10 of us, different channels, and the Ironroot guys were there, and they poured a little bit of ice. Unbelievable! It was a 4 and 5 year blend of their barrel aged whiskey, and it was just it was unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. And I love the bottle. I love matte things.
Yeah,
I'm a huge fan of Octomore. I don't have the bottle here. It's over in the whiskey cabinet that me and my roommate have now. But I love that bottle design. Just matte, stark matte black. Just it's there. I don't need to know how much is in there. It's such a great idea. Just from a mentality standpoint, to just be I don't know. Maybe I'll have some more. Maybe I won't. I don't know how much is in there. Blah blah blah. It leaves. There's a lot of. I don't know. It's a part of. It becomes a part of the drinking experience.
Yeah.
Have you
I feel the same way about. It's all good. I feel the same way about my bottle of Lost Distillery Losset. It's such a good whiskey. It's a black bottle, and I keep feeling oh god, I don't know how much is in here. And I can't find it anywhere anymore.
Yeah.
Have either of you seen it's not exactly the matte, it's more of a frosted kind of thing, but have either of you seen the bottle design for Redbreast 27?
I feel like I've seen a picture on the Tribe, but whenever I see anything like that, I know that I'll never be able to buy a bottle. I'll wait for someone I know to maybe get a bottle and maybe give me a half-ounce sampler.
I might impulse, depending on how much I'm able to accumulate over my next tastings and other things. But if I have the means to, that 27 is going to be mine because it's more attainable than getting any kind of Port Ellen. At this point, which is, I have my sights set on a specific 24-year-old Port Ellen.
Well, here's
Not
the
a
thing.
Diageo release, too.
Yeah. Well,
It's like a signatory or something.
It is a. I'm not quite. It was like a bottling done for Whiskey Magazine in 2006. It's called like Editor's
Oh.
Choice.
isn't now Port Ellen's reopening?
Yes, it is.
It's
They built it.
scheduled.
And at some point this year, it's supposed to reopen.
Now
there was addition in this Kinship series that I thought was interesting. That was almost $1,000 more than this other one. And there's one review I found of it that was just like, it's from this line where every distillery on Islay for the opening of Ardenhoe put out this special Kinship single barrel release.
right.
And then all of them were just like amazing, outstanding. Port Ellen, garbage. There's a reason it closed. And I'm not sure if that's just because there's so much, I hate to say, I don't like saying it, but like it seems like it's in that world of the Tate kind of stuff, The Tater.
Yeah,
I hate it. I hate saying that. I hate myself for saying that word.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do think that there's some legitimacy to that, right? Because I mean, you think of something like Blanton's. I mean, Blanton's is a good bourbon, but it's overhyped, right? And so it's always a question of like, okay, well, like, is there some truth to the fact that it's overhyped because it's closed? Is it overhyped because Johnny Walker uses some of it in some editions of the Blue? Is it overhyped in the sense that like Lang uses it in, what is it? Is it Big Pete that Lang uses it in, right? Or one of the editions they
don't know.
Season it with some old Port Ellen barrels that they have. So yeah, I mean, like, and then of course, like, when they reopen, everybody's like, oh, it's okay.
Did I drop out?
No, I think Nathan's thing.
I think I kind of.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. You got heated.
I'm apologizing for your internet connection.
You got heated in your internet. What is happening? Uh-oh. Is it me now?
No.
No, it's
Nate,
Nate.
can you hear? Nod your head if you can hear us.
I'm here, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Sorry.
Guys.
I think at 4 o'clock, everyone's going back on Zoom in your area to get to do their end of day conference.
I feel like such a pretentious piece of shit because whenever I hear someone say like, "Oh, I'm gonna use Zoom," my thought is always, "Use Discord. What is wrong with you?"
Me and my buddies are gonna be using the StreamYard here for our. We're gonna be watching the draft together, the NFL draft, round 1 together. I think it's this Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Because fuck Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom is the new Skype, bro.
Well, they've had a lot of I don't want to get into this too much, but they've had a lot of like piracy and security issues, I've heard.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I'd rather not use them. I'd rather stick to like StreamYard or Google Hangouts. Is still a thing.
There's now 2 people here. I can have a more diverse kind of opinion. We're throwing up the previous loser. Gooderham and Works, 11 souls over here. It's a 4-grain blend with unique whiskeys. The most unique. And then there's a Scotch Malt Whiskey Society release. This is in the I'm not sure how obvious. It's like a light pink. The category is young and spirity. It is called Salty Chalk Mallow. Distillery Society Cask number 26.128. 7 years old. Distilled September 19, 2011. Second fill barrel / ex-bourbon Highland whiskey. 60.4% alcohol. 7 years old. It is a Clonelish, so a 7-year-old Clonelish. I could have just said that.
Oh, snap.
So, wait, did you just say that?
I said, oh, snap.
Yes. So, which,
yeah, man. That's
which is it,
fantastic.
the Canadian whiskey or the cask strength Clonelish? Clynelish.
The Clynelish, because I have no hopes of getting Scotch Malt Whiskey Society in Texas.
That is unfortunate.
But
is your
you
input?
can't
Is
ship
it
alcohol
Texas?
out of or into Texas. Texas is great about a lot of things, but alcohol shipping laws is not one of them.
Yeah.
Like barbecue. Great on that.
Yeah, barbecue is great. If you're a big Second Amendment person, and then I guess the whole
They're also
that's
good
cool
for that
here.
too.
Yeah, that if you're into that kind of thing, that's cool. It's never cold, so.
Yeah, but it also can be incredibly warm.
Oh yeah, I mean, just
Like even more than in
115
California.
for like
But-
3 or 4 months of the summer. Yeah, no big deal.
So Vito, which is it? A Gudenham and Wort or Clynelish?
Gooderham, go Canadian. This is a Canadian channel
We're
after all. We need
tied,
to
so
have.
I guess I'm gonna have to blend the two.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let's do that. Let's blend it. Okay, so, what proportions now?
Obviously,
You gotta use the Clynelish as the base.
What year was it again?
7.
yes. I have a bunch of whiskeys around me that I could also use. I've got rye whiskey right behind camera.
Okay,
Peerless,
yeah. So
that I could
let's
throw into the mix.
let's. I agree with Nate. Let's do the majority. The Clynelish, just because the 11 Souls is 11 different barrels, blended together. So there's going to be a lot more variety there. So use something consistent and add in the more variable option, as the mixer is slowly added in.
Just as a better indicator of how much to put into this blend, I'm gonna use a Tullamore Dew Mini.
I'm adding a Patty Bologna. Hey,
Ooh,
buddy, what's
snap.
going
What's
on?
up, Pat?
Not much. Sorry, I'm upstairs, not downstairs, so I don't have the mic to let me know if it's getting all
No, man,
shitty
you're
on me.
good. Mike's good.
The wife has commandeered the whiskey room during the day as an office, so
That's all good,
Oh,
bud.
cool, man.
We can hear you just fine and see you just fine.
perfect. I am starting out with a broken barrel Muzanera oak finish.
Oh, I still haven't had anything
Nice.
Mizunera finished. I'm so upset about this.
Neither have I, so we'll see what this thing's like.
Ah, you beat
If
me
you
to
have-
it though.
Your damn country, if they'd ever let me just ship stuff over the border.
Oh shit! Sorry, Patrick. I
all right.
accidentally clicked.
That comment pissed him off, Pat. You
I
gotta
know.
stop talking to
Quickly,
people
It's like, and you're off my
No.
stream. Fuck
No,
you.
no, that was a Canadian border control being like, shut this guy up.
Yeah,
Hey,
Gosh, I gotta go get a bottle, guys. I'll be right back.
All right, go.
so we have that much Clynelish in here. That's about a base, right?
Yeah, sure.
It's a little more than a base.
I would
No,
say
you're good.
It's about
Finish-
75%.
Yeah, put the rest.
I am
The last
gonna add
20
a splash of the Peerless.
Man, you love that Peerless so much.
This is actually a different one. The reason I have this is I went to the distillery. It's called the Humidor, and
The
it's like a smoky rye.
Oh, interesting.
The
I think
notes
I
they
still-
give are sweet smoke, orange zest, tobacco, and cacao.
I think I still have some of the Peerless rye from the last time you were here.
Also, it was just I have it signed by the CEO of the distillery,
Nice.
which was odd. His name's Corky.
Last
I was buying the bottles, and then there was this old guy standing next to me. They're so like, "Hey, do you want this guy to sign your bottle?" And he was just like, "Oh," and I said, "Okay," and he was just like, "Okay, yeah, Corky the fourth."
Hey, whenever you're at a place, I'll take anyone to sign it. I'm like, I don't care if you're like you're the bartender. You're like, it just reminds me of the trip.
So okay, so speaking of signing things, now, what do you guys do with your empty bottles? Now, specifically the ones that you get signed, do you keep them?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, right?
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Like, there was a
I
lot. Well,
haven't.
I have a whole shelf of and extra ones of like just empty ones, but there's going to be like a cleansing, and then they're going to leave me a little note on the recycling bin that day about how I need help, and the AA class is because there's going to be like 70 bottles, and I'm just going to keep like 10, 20 that are all signed, and the rest of it would be like.
Yeah.
But for a while when I started, I wanted to almost like have a log of like what I did and finished. Like, yeah, I had this and I had this, and I remember what happened when I had it. And
Yeah.
I don't drink fast enough to deal with empties, so like I got a bottle of Eleanor signed at the opening of the distillery like 2 years ago for my dad, who still has not opened that bottle. I have the Peerless, and then I have a Bell Mead that was signed by the master distiller, and that's about it. And none of them I've had for a few months, but the other two I've had for at least a year.
wow,
One isn't open,
this
the
is
other
what
one's like never going to get finished.
This is what I chose, guys.
oh,
It is
taunting.
Balcones.
Oh, I hate you so much.
I'm actually the thing that's holding my camera is the Balcona is finished in sherry casks. That really the Brujera.
Oh, the
Can't say it.
Brujeria.
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
that Spanish? Is that the one that means
Yeah.
witchcraft?
Yeah.
Yes, Brujeria is witchcraft. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
God damn it. The single malt's so good. Fuck, I wish it was in America. That's the only thing I wish. That's the only reason. Literally the only reason for that I wish that I wasn't living in Canada is just literally Texas whiskey. I don't forget Kentucky bourbon. Texas whiskey. I want all of it right now because it's all so good. God damn it.
Oh, well, that's shady. I didn't read this bottle well enough. It's I think it's from Vegas, or where is it? Yeah, Vegas. But it is a blend of 4-year Indiana corn whiskey and 5-year-old Kentucky corn whiskey. The finish on this is pretty sweet. It totally changed it. I went to guess corn for both of them at all.
I want to just answer Dan's question. He's asked how many drinks I'm into right now. So I finished my my 2 ounce pour of the old fashioned, and I'm just into a beer. Just having a beer.
That's a barrel pick, Patron?
Yes. For Kentucky. Liquor Barn, finished or aged in French oak.
Oh, okay. One of those funky, cheesy Frook barrels.
Hi,
Yeah.
Dan.
Howdy, gents.
What up, Dan?
See, Dan's hair is out of control. He's wearing a hat too.
Oh my god, it's
But
so
I'm just-
pompadour-y.
It's hard to see there, but it's getting to the point where I look more like Shaggy from Scooby Doo than I do like my old self.
Dan, I used to have hair like that.
But it can't compare to the Ron Weasley wig, Pat.
No,
I look
I do
like-
have that. That'll have to come out again at some point.
Ron Weasley is awesome, an awesome hairdo. All right, first of all, I look like a random background character from Back to the Future 2 when they're in the actual future.
When you're in 2015 or past.
Yeah.
Which I'm just gonna say, it was demoralizing to see that come and go and be like, we don't even have a hologram shark at the movie theater.
Nothing.
We have nothing. We have nothing from the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Not
I
even
think-
a Ford Probe with full wheel covers on the back.
I think the only thing they had were the Jordans or the Nikes they had like that because they specifically made them that year.
Yeah,
But they were like,
and they're only like $65,000 a
Yeah.
pair.
I did see.
Sounds like a bargain.
Hi, Beckham. What's going on,
Jeffrey,
Beckham?
Nate, and that's Patrick.
What's up,
and
dude?
that's
How's it going?
I have no
Say-
idea who those guys are.
I have no
Small
idea.
human.
Beckham, you know me though, right?
Beckham, it's Vito. Oh, who's Vito?
Wow.
You can't beat Vito.
This social distancing is taking its toll, man.
Jeez.
Oh, he's
Awesome.
lying because apparently in the bedroom, Dwyer just said he did just say something about Uncle Vito, so he is talking trash.
Ah.
That's good
Um,
though. It's fun when kids talk trash.
Well,
You know-
I joined this specifically. Oh, hold on a sec. What's going on up here? I joined this chat specifically for an excuse to have a beverage.
Vito, are you the guy from How to Train Your Dragon?
Yes. Yes. Vito is that person.
That is Vito. Yes, that is Vito.
Yeah, it's been a real exciting one here today. I've taken over the role of teacher, obviously, and we try to do a bunch of school. I just try and sneak in a little bit of something, and it's really hard. It's really hard for him to focus. He's always been like that. It's a typical 6-year-old kid. You know, he wants to be always doing other stuff, and in the setting of home, he sees something and wants to always go and do that, and it's been pretty hard, I imagine, for most kids to try and understand that they still got to do some type of school and that. So
Is he a tactile learner, hands-on?
certainly,
Okay.
but he does also appreciate, like he loves Bill Nye. Bill Nye is probably his 3rd favorite show of all time.
Okay, so
Awesome.
he likes science.
Yeah,
Okay.
but he's definitely like tactile is probably the foremost method that he does.
Well, so the reason I ask, Dan, is because my wife, with a friend of hers,
Okay, give me.
my wife is a cancer biologist in training, has a PhD, teaches at University of Texas. Anyway, she and a friend published a science-based kids coloring book that has experiments. Like, bro, you can use like Dawn dish soap and some other stuff and extract DNA out of a strawberry, like right there in your living room and stuff. So if you want, I can shoot you the link for that. I think it's like $15 on Amazon.
Please do.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, I'll look
Yep.
that up right now.
And I'd be happy to buy that and support your wife. That is awesome.
Oh,
That
she
is
doesn't make any
awesome.
money off of it, but
Just fame.
Well,
not even, man.
Jeffrey, how's that blend coming?
So I've finished the thing, but I haven't had it yet.
Well, give her a little shake.
I add.
Okay, that doesn't look right either.
Now, now
what
that
am I gonna?
All right. So here's the link. Oh, that's in our private chat, I guess. I should put it maybe in our YouTube group too, in case there's other parents out there with kids that are interested in doing science.
Yeah, for sure.
There it is.
Science is amazing. He loves science. It's science and animals are his peak. When he was 5, he was talking about having like a low T cell count and how that affects your immune system. And like Dwyer was sitting there looking at him like so confused. She didn't understand a single thing that he said, but it was accurate, and he knows so much more than we ever did when we were his age. But he loves science, especially health sciences too. I'm imagining what he's gonna love that. So, is there anything that what should I have here, folks? Can you see there? Is that showing anything?
Your most expensive bottle.
the furthest whiskey from Canada.
The furthest whiskey from Canada.
You
That
got some
would.
from Australia, maybe.
Close your eyes
I
and pick a
wish.
sample off
I
the
can't
wall.
quite see, but like I think I did see some kind of Nika.
You did. You saw
Maybe
2. Oh no, that's Sinclair. This. I have a whiskey from the barrel. maybe I'll open that Nika. I guess yeah. Japan would be
Japan free.
further.
So last year at this time, I was
Had a head shop.
I was in Japan. This would have been, I believe, this was my
420.
second last day in Japan last year. I was in Tokyo. And right now I'd be sleeping because it would be 3:15 in the morning there. But yeah, that was my last. Today was my last day a year today of being in Japan. And if anybody ever has the opportunity, the means and opportunity to go to Japan, you have to. It is such a beautiful country, and the food is amazing. The people are so respectful, especially if you learn a little bit of Japan, just enough to be like, "Hello, how are you? Do you speak any English, or do you understand English?" Just the like even those three sort of phrases goes a long way in the respect, because Japanese is a very respectful culture.
Your pictures looked awesome when you went and came back. So
Man, like I'm getting reminded daily on Facebook, like the last 18 days of just like, oh yeah, a year ago today, this is what you posted. It's like, God damn it. Oh, I want to go back so badly. But yeah, if you ever get an opportunity, it's highly recommended. Just learn a little bit of Japan just to help you out a little bit, and it's all good. So
It's also 420 today, so
see, that's all I was referencing.
Probably be
I'm not
engaging
jealous
in
of you. I'm not jealous of you. I'm not.
6 grams of double hash here.
Not jealous at all.
You're gonna engage in all 6 grams.
Good.
No. There was a time.
Place.
There was a time when I could handle that, but nowadays, not so much.
I just thought you were that ambitious for the holiday. I was like, I know it's like St. Patrick's Day for for people
No,
like
where
us
the
to
hell
enjoy
did I
it,
put
but
that Nika?
damn.
Yeah, this is I'm actually cracking this Nika. It's been sitting there unpopped.
Nice.
It's a great excuse to open it.
After
Vito's
that,
happy hour.
I'll do a rundown of what's in this blend.
go for it.
Or I could do that. In case you missed it, or anyone who's watching this,
Oh,
mainly
come on.
a 7-year-old Clynelish from Scotch Malt Whiskey Society.
Okay.
7.
About an even mix of Guterham and Worts 11 Souls, and a little less, but about the same amount of a 4-year-old pick from Humidor, from Peerless, called the Humidor. It's a slightly smoky rye, and then a light crown of the Balcones barrel pick.
Would you say a dash?
A dosh. It's more like a crown, because
Is that-
it didn't even
like a
change
zhuzh?
the color that much. It's the difference between jazz and jizz. In the
Hi!
Star Wars context. In the Star Wars context.
Hey,
I'm gonna take jazz. That's all I'm saying.
a skosh.
This is one of the worst bottles I've ever poured from. What a piece of crap.
Which bottle?
He's
The fucking
recorking.
Nika from the barrel.
Yeah,
What do you
that
mean it
can
was
be
the
a
worst?
little dicey.
What?
It's so thick.
That's what she
It's
said.
unbelievable. I just spilled. First of all, this is the biggest pour of whiskey that I've done in ages.
Hold on. Wait.
Because
No. You have to preface
That's
that
like
by
a
saying
week's
that
worth
is
of
a
whiskey,
stubby.
Dan.
That's a stubby Glencairn. That is a stubby Glencairn that
Of
you
course
have.
it is, but it's still 3 times more than I pour, dude.
Well, learn how to pour. What do you want from me?
Hey, good
Learn
afternoon
how
to
to
you.
pour.
Cheers.
You've obviously never poured from
Yes.
Nika from the barrel.
Yes, I have. I had
No,
a
you
bottle.
No, you don't.
I had a bottle.
Oh, right. That's the worst bottle of whiskey I've ever poured from in my life. Google,
you ever-
stop.
Have you tried to pour from the Sexton bottle?
I was just about to
Yeah,
say.
that thing's evil.
And I
That's
even
just an
brought
awkward, chunky lump.
You
I
gotta do the
brought
high
the thing
pour.
up to the lip and everything. God, that's disappointing. Like now I have to drink this. There's
Well,
probably a friggin' ounce in here.
That's
Oh
terrible.
my! A whole ounce. Oh my!
Your life is so hard, Dan.
This is
I had
I'd say
two
it's
ounce.
like
I had
one-
2 ounces of billet plus the beer. You'll be
2
fine,
ounces
Dan.
of what?
Billet rye.
Speaking of drinking
need-
large amounts of whiskey, Vito, did you ever finish that little baby bottle of 40 Creek you were trying to chug down the other night?
No.
Oh, he did.
No, it's still here. I have about a quarter left of it. I'll finish it on the next After Dark series. On the After Dark streams that we do.
Am I banned
My phone is about to die.
Are you banned from
I'm
what?
just- from the After Dark stream?
No.
This-
If
Wait,
you want to
it
be on the
can-
After Dark stream, just
Hey, it
let
can
us
always
know.
be after dark.
well, he really didn't want us to see him drink that whole ounce.
I guess not. Yeah. So, well, he said his phone was about to die. I'm just gonna mute him for a quick second. So yeah. So on the After Dark series that we're doing so we have our cast strength live at 8, and then Rocket Review goes on at 9, and then we pop back on at around 10 o'clock or whenever they end. And really, we don't have like a really set thing with it. Like we could probably pop in whenever, like just randomly at like 11 o'clock at night, just and that will be reserved all the shitty whiskey. And I think I can probably get the camera to behave. Hold on a second.
this blend smells really good, by the way.
It should. It had some nice
There's a
stuff in it.
whole fucking shit of whiskey right there from Brad. Right there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20. There's 24 bottles.
That's a lot of reviews for Vito to do. He's the only
Sometimes
one
you
that
just
does
gotta.
them.
Of shitty Canadian whiskey, mind you, that that Brad also graciously gifted me. That is strictly reserved for the cast strength After Dark. Fucking unbelievable.
Sometimes you gotta be your own Brad LeClaire.
There we go. That's better. So yeah, so there's almost 30 fucking bottles of shitty fucking whiskey. So the After Dark series, that is all I'll be drinking. I will not be drinking anything nice. I would just be drinking shitty whiskey straight from those plastic ass bottles.
You got to get rid of it sometime. So I mean,
And
Well, that's the thing, is
how
like-
did you get signed up for that duty?
Me and Brad technically are still engaged in a bit of a war, a shenanigans war. I gifted him an entire bottle of Canadian Mist, and he gifted me an entire fucking army of shit whiskey.
I think he won.
did you ever figure out which bottle he filled with Canadian Mist?
He didn't.
Okay.
That was fucking Jeremy just busting my balls.
I know it was neat to see you be concerned about it though. When you went to go grab a bottle, you're like, I hope this isn't the bottle. I really
Dude.
hope this isn't the one.
Brad says he's waiting for you to make your move again, Vito.
For months, it was like a 6 to 8 month just ordeal of just like is this I don't know, like what am I tasting? Like I think I taste different than the last time I tried it. Like I don't remember. Like oh. So yeah, it ended up being that no bottles had been contaminated. It was just a mental attack, a mental terrorist attack on my.
True.
and it is my turn. This whole me not being able to come to your house, Brad, has hindered my plans. Although it has given away a little bit that I need to be in your house to do things. So,
God, Brad is playing chess on you, Vito.
he
He's
really
got it
is.
planned out already.
But see, Brad is just
That's if you keep going, man, and you may just quit while you're ahead. That might be the smart thing to do.
no,
The
because
I like that.
I'm
Never-
Southern
Never
Italian.
give up. Never surrender.
Yeah, the wiki model. So
Always improvise.
I am Southern Italian by heritage, and I do not know the this word that you use. Let him win. No, fuck him.
It's got
But
a
if
real
you
revenge
can't win-
complex. I like it.
And the best way to win is always be prepared to adapt. That'll be $50.
I have.
That advice will be $50.
I'll lead trans you that right away, Patron. I have something in mind, but I need a little bit of help with it. So we'll see. There'll be another video showcasing just the atrocities that will befall Brad. So
Sorry, I like it. I like the word atrocities. That makes me really excited for it. But Patron, when you were saying that one had like a light smoky kind of flavor to it, the Peerless.
Yes, it's not so much a light.
Like
It's a what?
I'll be right back, guys.
You kind of cut out on my end, Nate.
I didn't hear him. He just said he's
Oh,
coming
I
back.
said, is it like barrel char?
Not so much. It might be a thing with the fermentation of the rye that I can't quite. Phenols seem to have, or the appearance of phenols seem to have developed at some point, which is, I believe, a thing that can happen with some rye whiskeys. But it's basically it's a rye whiskey that just tastes like the rye has been smoked, but it hasn't been. If that's
Okay. No, that's
but
fair.
it's not it's big rye, very small smoke.
Okay.
But the smoke that is there, it's not like it's just not I haven't had this in a while, so I'm trying to describe it without having to necessarily pour it again. It's like a sweeter smoke.
Mm. Oh my God! Anybody that's watching this, if you have peated Balcones at home, have it with sweet tea. I'm like double fisting here. Balcones peated in sweet tea.
Nice.
It is amazing.
I think sweet tea goes good with a lot of things. I think it's it, but I'm sure that racks up pretty good. The only reason I asked you, Jeff, was because I remembered the dark fired rye you put me onto the MB Roland.
That is just a bourbon.
That's just a bourbon? Oh, I said rye. I meant smoke. And just the smoke flavor. That's just what's in my head. I forgot what even it was because I was just like the smoke, and that was like American smoke is what I got on that because that was
it would be really cool
great.
If probably it would be a liquor store that would do this, or although if the distillery did this, amazing. MB Roland, you have that whiskey, the dark fired. You age it or finish it even in an ex brimstone barrel.
Ooh, that would be crazy.
Yeah, although truthfully, I don't know how much smoke you would get out of the barrel because brimstone is aged only 1 day ish in the oak. So I don't know. I just don't know how much spirit penetration into the wood.
Or you could blend the two. I'm not quite.
I think a blend.
You already have
the dark fired rye is pretty smoky for what it is. I was pretty impressed by what they were getting out of it. It was like American
color in
style.
Other aspects of smoke, if anything.
Yeah. I'm really curious if they're doing anything with brimstone and aging it for any time.
Yeah.
Even if they did it for like 6 months, like the Baby Blue, I think that could turn into something.
So
less of a middle finger and more interesting.
So do you want to? So the first time that I actually tried brimstone was at Reyes Le Mariachi's house.
Mhm.
and it was brought by Christina and Lance. And what I said about it was, "This reminds me of my childhood." Da, 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 da.
Okay.
That wasn't just like it. There's things about it that was just like it reminded me of certain smells of New Jersey, just like hot tar, blacktop, and just other smells of just all of these things going on. It just really, for some reason, it reminded me of my explicitly childhood.
Nice. All right, I gotta go be an adult for a bit. Sadly, I gotta go start dinner and a few other things. But I just wanted to stop on and cheers everyone. Say hi. Are you back there taming your dragon again?
What? I'm trying to remember how to type in Japanese. Hold on.
But everyone here, cheers. I'm gonna hop off. I gotta go do some work. We'll see you. I'll probably have my kid later this week, so I won't get to hop on too frequent. Maybe one day if it's at the right time. So
Yeah.
you guys have a good night, and
You too.
Vito, thanks for having a nice little
You bet.
afternoon drink session.
Yeah, man, for sure. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Nice talking with you. It smells like an extra glazed or even double glazed, like apple fritter or apple donut. You've got that like sugary glaze, appleness, baked bread, but it smells more of like a donut kind of a thing. Slight cinnamon, but really big apple on it. More so a green apple. Maybe like green apple that like has like been spritz with some lemon juice to keep it from browning. And it has this peppery note, and it just tastes like if you took that donut and just pepper. You did the Isaac's toops of just adding a shit ton of pepper.
Konnichiwa, bitch.
Also, I'd like to.
I want to
Sheep
say
is a good friend of mine.
I want to say anata wa eigo ga wakarimashita ka? I know a little bit of Japanese. I want to actually, now that I have the time, I actually want to like really get into the language and see if I can like hammer down more than just the very basics of like, hello, how are you? Do you speak Japanese? Do you speak any English? Do you understand anything? Like stuff like that. Like
Hello, how are you? Do you
like
whiskey?
oh, the weather outside is nice. Iyo tenki desu ne? Like this is like stuff like that. It's like I want to get conversational strong.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. More power to you. Yeah, I speak Spanish, and when our baby comes, I'll be fully immersed in Filipino because my wife's Filipino. But man, God bless anybody that can learn a language with a whole other alphabet and written language and all that. Man, that's a whole other set of stuff.
Yeah. Kono kotensu o tanoshinde imasu. Yeah, that's way beyond me. Oh, ramen. Oh, ramen. I need to tonkatsu ramen. Yeah. Anything katsu is amazing. Like I've done I've obviously done pork katsu, tonkatsu. I've done chicken katsu, eggplant and zucchini katsu come out amazing if you're like a vegetarian. And I've made some vegan ones where you dip, instead of the egg wash, you dip it in soy milk, and it comes out wonderful with a little bit of black pepper, cayenne, and some Japanese curry powder in the flour mix. And it just comes out amazing. And I'm not huge on vegan options. I'm not huge on vegetarian options, and I'm not big on eggplant, but man, did that eggplant katsu come out wonderful.
So what you're saying is you're not big on eggplant, but eggplant is big on you?
Yeah, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Especially the Japanese eggplants, the nice and long and Vito sized.
Beefy.
So I poured myself a little bit of Gooderham and Wart's 4 grain, just to kind of finish off the hangout. I'm gonna go eat something now because I am a little bit hungry. But until this is finished, we can keep on hanging out.
Oh, speaking, I never sent you a photo of what the chicken looked like.
No, you did not.
I did send you a photo of Isaac Toops.
You did. That was fantastic.
I love that. Just that. I mean, like both things together, but just he put legitimate like moonshine. Although it kind of looked like more like a slushy. I couldn't quite tell what it was.
Yeah, it doesn't look
in
like
an old Pappy bottle. Sorry. The Van Winkle Family Reserve 12-year-old straight Kentucky bourbon whiskey. Wouldn't want to call it. I know it's not a Pappy, but just for reference.
Oh, damn, that looks fucking... Oh, it's blackened a little bit too. Oh, with the pickles. And the ruffled pickles, buddy.
Those are some bread and butter. It really adds a nice sweetness to the dish.
So I guess sheep pie is in the Jersey area.
No.
No? Where's this guy?
What did
no, I'm just because you said you know him.
Lady. Lady.
Oh, lady. Oh, my apologies. I must have misheard earlier.
She is based out of if she wants to say where she is. She's not based out of New Jersey.
Sheep pie. Where do you hail from? Besides, you were born in Japan. Yes. I'm curious. Germany?
Yep.
My goodness. I knew a little bit of German, but I've forgotten it at this point. Hey, Jason Patton's back, unless he was just kind of like hiding in the chat a little bit. Well, Sheep Pie, I believe this is the first time I've seen you on a Cast Strength stream, so welcome in. And you're much welcome back. And as I learn more Japanese, I will use you as a test subject. Yeah. So I think this was okay. Again, I'll throw it out to the chat again because no one really, like I could probably go through the chat again, but no one really, when I originally set it at around about 3:30, like does the 3 o'clock time make sense for a lot of people? Do I need to push it back an hour, move it forward an hour, maybe make it for like a lunchtime hangout? What are your feelings about everything time-wise? I'll probably do it at 3 o'clock again tomorrow until I get a bit more feedback about the timing. But I would love to get, a fair amount of people in on these as possible, just to hang out and, people coming in and out of the chat. So sound off. If you're watching this on replay, definitely just leave a comment. Obviously, not many people comment, so we see the comments, so I'll definitely reply right away.
Very simple blend, but tasty.
Oh, yes. And speaking of blends,
that's tonight, right?
That's tonight. Me and Jesse from Still It are going to be doing a blending experiment. So if you haven't already and you're watching this, tonight at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, me and Jesse are going to be blending. Now, on the Cast Strength Facebook group, I created an event for tonight because the way we set up the page, you can't post polls to the front page for whatever reason. I don't know. So we have to make an event and then make a poll, which is stupid. I agree, but unfortunately, that's the workaround there that we have to work with. I think I might make a Facebook story poll next time. I think that might work out a little bit better. But anyways, go and vote on the bottles that I currently have in my collection. Those are the bottles that I will be blending. The top 6, I believe I said, will voted on will be the bottles that I used to blend with. And tonight, me and Jesse will be evaluating the bottles and determining the proportions of everything, and then we'll see what happens. And obviously, I have a bunch of samples as well over here that I will pull from, depending on how we feel the blend's going. But yeah, definitely take a look at that, and we'll also be explaining like why and a little bit of the intricacies of blending at home. And you don't have to be an expert, to blend. Like, and I said this on Jesse's channel, on the Distilla channel. My favorite blend to this date is the first blend that I ever did, which was 3/4 of Talisker 10 to 1/4 Lefroy quarter cask. That I poured the two side by side, and at the end of tasting both of them, I had a little bit more of the Talisker than the Lefroy. I was like, fuck it. I put the two together, let it sit for a bit. It's, to this day, almost 2 years later, actually more than 2 years later, it's still my favorite blend. It's like a smoky apple pie. It's wonderful. And that was me 3 weeks into enjoying whiskey, like really like trying to dive into whiskey. And
so have you ever made that mix and let it sit for a while and tried it later?
Yeah,
it changed.
Yep. I let it. I've made it. I've capped it. I've put it aside for a couple hours. I've come back to it. It is still dynamite.
That sounds awesome, man.
Still dynamite. And that's the thing is like the free will and sort of willingness to experiment and just, hey, I like these two whiskeys. Let's see what kind of mixture happens if I blend the two in whatever proportion you feel works. Just go for it. There's nothing really like professional or scientific about it. Just blend. Someone's calling me. I will be calling them back later. But yeah, so that's tonight at 8:00 Eastern Standard Time on the channel. If you guys are around and want to, involve yourselves with the blending and learn a little bit about blending, not that there's going to be a lot of learning to it, but there's going to be like a little bit of tips and tricks that Jesse will help with, that will obviously kind of make us more aware of. We'll be here on the channel, and yeah. We'll
learning on the Cask Strength channel.
That is a first. But I don't know, man. Like, it's one of those things where, like, yesterday I was fixing up, like, the rest of my bedroom, and I was like, shit, I literally have nothing to do during the day, Monday to Friday, because my roommate works all day. It's like, I went for a 4-hour walk today, and other than that, I was like, I got nothing else to do. So I was like, might as well, invite some people on, host a happy hour, talk about randomness and just whatever kind of comes up. And, we've been going for almost 2 hours now. So
yeah, man, this is dope. I think, I hope more people respond about the whole, like, is this time good for them and whatever. And, the reality of it is there's probably no time that's perfect. But I mean, most of us are all at home anyway, right?
That's the thing. It's like, I understand the situation a lot of people are, that some people are in where they're still working, and like, that's awesome. Like, thank you so much for still working, and all the first responders, the first responders, yes, but also the essential workers, like, really, what would be the word? Like, just like untouted heroes, right? Just like they're always there and they're providing us with the essentials, and it really puts things in perspective. So for those people and the people that are still that are still able to work, If this provides you with a little bit of a distraction and everything, that's I feel like I'm doing a little bit of a part to kind of like, ease a bit of the tension, a little bit of the heaviness of the situation a little bit, which is some like, some fulfilling discussion about whatever may come up. Right. And, it fills up our time and, I don't know. I had a lot of fun the first time around, so we'll see what happens next time. Tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Sweet, man.
But to end things out, I did pour myself another blend that I made that I have in this tiny Johnny Walker Blue bottle. It is a little bit, an even proportion of every Scotch Malt Whiskey Society release that I have.
Wow.
It's kind of like a cacophony, and there's a Laphroaig and there's an Ardbeg in here, and this doesn't it doesn't smell incredibly peaty. There's definitely some of that peat, but it's almost more, it appears in like how the peat, not how it appears, but like, I tried a Laphroaig 25 at the tasting thing in Austin. I think you were there, Vito, right?
Yeah, the 25 was unbelievable. The 25,
where it had
Laphroaig
like
25,
a grilled pineapple note.
The Laphroaig 25 to me was like on the same sort of heartbeat as the Redbreast 32 Dream Cask. It had a weird, sweet honey vibe going that was just like, man, this is reminiscent of the 32-year-old Redbreast Dream Cask, but just Laphroaig a bit. And like, I'm a Laphroaig fanboy. I love Laphroaig, and the 25 just blew me away. I was like, my goodness, this is fantastic.
It tastes similar. It smells similar to that Laphroaig 25. But then again, there was a 23-year-old Laphroaig in here, so.
All right. Well, let's. How are you still smelling it, or because I'm watching?
Oh, do you want me to taste it?
Taste it. That'll be the last thing that we do on the stream.
Okay. That was incredibly, like, it was very creamy, just like malty, just more like honey, just pleasant aroma, like pleasant flavors that I can't quite place. Because as soon as I started to think about what I was getting, it went immediately to this brine and to this like sherry sweetened smoke. The Ardbeg in here, 12 years old, aged in a sherry, in a PX second fill.
Okay.
And it just it just took over. In the best way possible, I might add. But like it's like a hint of like, oh, I think that's from the Longmorn. Oh, I think that's from the Fettercairn. Oh, that definitely reminds me of the Clonelish that I had, Kleinlich. But it's all like to Ardbeg Town. And la da 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 da. Nah.
Very good. All right. So with that, I think we'll leave it. Greg in Hawaii is having breakfast. So, man, that shit. Like, it sucks that you kind of missed the majority of this. But if you're around later, man, we'll be doing a stream in another 3 hours or so. So if you're around, join us for that on this channel. In the meantime, Jeff, thank you. Nate, thanks for joining in.
Yeah, man, it was fun. Thanks
for sure. Again, tomorrow we'll be doing the same thing at around 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just kind of a nonchalant hangout. with a couple of drinks, random discussion about food, whiskey, alcohol, life, whatever may end up coming about, or about, as some Americans feel that the Canadians speak. So let's leave it at that for today. It's been a great hangout, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right.
Cheers,
Bye, y'all.
guys.
Cheers. See ya.
I don't know what you're on about.